Hollywood's worst, honored at the 32nd Annual Razzie Awards. He might have been the kids' choice for favorite movie actor just the night before, but Adam Sandler received the sliming of a lifetime at Sunday night's Golden Raspberry Awards in Los Angeles. His gender-bending comedy Jack and Jill winning every award in all 10 categories, a first for the annual spoof on Hollywood's award season.
Jack and Jill!
Despite strong competition from commercially successful yet critically panned flicks like Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Transformers Dark of the Moon, Razzie voters, made up of some 600 or so LA-based film aficionados, seem to find Jack and Jill especially repulsive, naming it the worst remake, spin-off, or sequel, and even singling out the film's director and unlikely co-star Al Pacino for Razzie trophies.
Burn this.
Founder and host John Wilson says based on Razzie criteria alone, Jack and Jill was an obvious choice.
We use 3 or 4 different standards in determining what we're going to nominate. We do look at box office, what did it cost, how much was lost. We look at the Rotten Tomato meter, what percentage of critics hated it. Jack and Jill, which won the worst picture tonight, had 97% negative reviews. And then we look at what I call Razzie pedigree. What is this filmmaker, actor, writer, what is their history with us? Have they provided us a lot of material in the past? And I have to say, in Adam Sandler's case, he is pretty much of a perennial, but the only thing he had won before was Worst Actor more than a decade ago for a picture that I think was called Big Daddy, so he was kind of overdue.
In previous years, winners Halle Berry and Sandra Bullock have made surprise appearances to accept their Golden Raspberry trophies, but despite Sandler owning the night, the comic actor was a no-show.
We did try to get Adam Sandler to come tonight, and suddenly he was on vacation with his family in Florida. I hope he's having a better time. I'm sure he's having a better time with his folks than he would have here tonight.
RottenTomatoes.com site editor Matt Attichie says there's nothing quite like watching a film flatline with the public.
I will say this, especially at Rotten Tomatoes. There is a certain glee that we get when a movie is getting a 0. And when somebody comes along and gives it finally the first positive review, there's always a little bit of disappointment. And I know we shouldn't feel that way, but we're always a little bit disappointed. More so than we get, if a movie's at 100% and somebody comes along and ruins that perfect score, our attitude's, that happens. But with a perfect 0, we do get a little bit gleeful. We shouldn't, but we do.
A night before the Oscars tradition for over 3 decades, this year's Razzies were the first to take place on April Fool's Day. And while Wilson will assess member feedback before deciding to continue every year on April 1st or revert back to the old date, he is certain that there will always be enough Razzie-worthy films to warrant a show each year.
I think it is inherently funny to bother to do what we do, to put on a whole show with clips and presenters and quotes and all of that stuff. It's just a very fun idea, and it's actually not just here in the United States. It's known all over the world, and I think it's partly because Hollywood product is known all over the world, and sadly for us, bad Hollywood product is known all over the world.
In Los Angeles, Scott Edwards, CBSNews.com.